Oh dang, it's towed. It's day 115. Yo. So yeah, day 115. I was just hiking with Toad. He's someone that we travel with. We've been rocking and rolling with Toad since right outside of Duncannon, Virginia. Not Virginia. Sorry, Duncannon, Pennsylvania. Oh shoot. So yeah, chilling with Toad. So Toad is a flip-flopper, and what that means is he started in Harper's Ferry and headed north, and he's going to head north to Katahdin, and then he's going to catch a ride back to Harper's Ferry and hike south to Springer, and maybe even just head downhill from Springer to Amicalola, which I always recommend. It's straight downhill for 8 miles. Something else we're getting into right now are Southbounders. We saw, and it calculates out, so I think today is about the 14th or the 15th of July, and we I don't know if you heard this year, 2019, the Katahdin didn't open until Katahdin's where the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail is, and it didn't open this year until the 15th of June. So Southbounders who started at Katahdin and are purists, not that you have to be a purist, especially when things start late. You can just get going outside of Katahdin and then go back up and knock out that little bit at the end of your hike, just to finish the hike. But Southbounders who decided to start at Katahdin, they're a month in, so the people who are the fastest should be passing us right now, because right now and later today we're going to pass the 500 mile mark. So we'll be 500 miles from the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail at the end of the day today. So yeah, that takes about a month if you're fast, and I'm sure there have been other Southbounders that have passed us, but I just ran into our first 3 yesterday. One of them said, I only asked 2 because I forgot. I was like, oh wow, this guy kind of looks like a through hiker, not just like a long trailer, because we're on the long trail right now, Vermont's long trail. So yeah, one of the Southbounders, the first one I asked, I said, did you start at Katahdin? And he said, pretty much, which means he didn't start at Katahdin. So I don't know where he started, somewhere up there. He might have just left early because he wasn't going to wait till the 15th of June to get started on this trail, and I don't blame him. And then the next guy, though, said, yeah, he started at Katahdin. So that was my first Southbounder that I've run into that actually started at Katahdin. And I think, and maybe I'll check in on this later this week, next time I have cell phone service, but I think like last year, only like 1,000 people or 900 people tried or attempted the Southbound hike, and I think something like 200 of them finished. But I'll get those numbers later, and I will present those at some other time. But, you know, what's happening is we're so close to the northern terminus that we're going to start having a little bit of a, we're going to start camping with these people, sheltering at the same places, hosteling, hanging out in towns, drinking coffee with the Southbounders. So that's something, it's crazy because you talk about it right away when you get on the trail. You're like, oh, I wonder when we're going to hit Southbounders. And typically the two bubbles collide, and we're ahead of the northern bubble we're ahead of the front of the northern bubble from what I've heard by 2 weeks right now. So they're 2 weeks behind me. But typically when Katahdin opens, I think around the 1st of June, those two bubbles collide in New York. So there is a small bubble of Southbounders, and there's a small bubble or a larger bubble of Northbounders, and there becomes congestion on the trail just for use of space and whatever, right around New York, and they eventually pass each other, so it doesn't take that long. I'm guessing that the northbound bubble is probably 30 days long, meaning that there's like a consistent group day by day that passes a given point for 30 days. And in Harper's Ferry, the guy at the ATC told us that the major bubble sees, I think he said, about 50 hikers a day, which isn't bad. When I went through Harper's Ferry, there were 15 people a day crossing Harper's Ferry, and I don't know how many of those are actually on trail anymore. We've been seeing a lot of people come up. We've been taking a lot of time off, so we've been having hikers that are behind us passing us, but it hasn't been like a lot of people, and the trail is still, relatively empty. For those of you who think that the AT is like this like super highway, and I know I describe it that way sometimes, but for those of you who think the AT is like a super highway of hikers, it's more like a county road of hikers, if you will. Like, you might see in a given day, you might run into 4 or 5 people that are heading your direction, and then people heading the opposite direction during the week. I mean, we haven't had any at this point. Like, you'll get some day hikers and some sectioners that are heading southbound, but we're just not really seeing that many people. So I'm really curious to see what the volume of southbound through hikers are. Anyway, that's my diatribe on that. Something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Still, Vermont is beautiful, and I'm loving it, and it's quiet. This is the airport overlook. You know what airport this is? I guess we'll find out here in a minute. Wow, look at that. Clarendon. Wow. The last 500 starts now. We're still in Vermont, in the Killington, Vermont, whatever area, natural area on the Green Mountain Trail Club. Still, it's been a beautiful day. This is some beautiful land in here. I've really enjoyed it. It's one of the nicer, prettier sections that I've been in. I mean, there's pretty sections everywhere. This one's just another good one. Anyway, Nibbles and I have gone about 21 miles today at this point. We started at 7, and I don't even know what time it is. It's probably around 5:30. She's behind me a little bit. I just told her I would punch out the last 4 miles by myself, just in case I need to get to camp early, and in case there are any Southbounders who want to steal tent space. I'm gonna have to get in there and try to get us a nice spot. So I'm not really going fast or anything. I'm just getting ahead a little bit. So we'll see how that turns out.